Spoilers for Sunrise on the Reaping and everything else Hunger Games related. I have not seen the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes movie, but otherwise I know Hunger Games better than I know myself. And that's what this video is going to be. Me freaking out about Hunger Games, and also my 25th birthday. I am a grown adult.
You excited about Hunger Games, Wishy?
Kind of the fun part of a battle royale story is not the who's going to win, but how they do it. And the thing about Haymitch's story is that we actually know quite a bit about his games. We know that it's an absolutely gorgeous arena where everything is poisonous and they can only eat food and drink water from the packs that they get at the cornucopia. I think there's a volcano. We know that Madge's aunt is in the games and she's friends with Katniss's mom, so Katniss's mom is going to be in the book at some point, surely. We know they become allies and that she uses poison darts as weapons, and we know that Haymitch ultimately wins the game by manipulating the force field at the edge of the arena. I'm really interested to see how she's going to expand what we already know, because she's not starting from nothing like with Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm so excited. Okay, it's time to start.
Sunrise on the Reaping, a Hunger Games novel. It is therefore on opinion only that government is founded.
Damn. Oh, we're in for it.
The upside of being born on Reaping Day is that you can sleep late on your birthday. It's pretty much downhill from there. You still sparking that cubby, girl? I'm sure trying, I say, laughing. And then the mockingjays began to pick it up. I knew they'd sing for other birds, but I'd never heard them sing for a person before. Pretty impressive stuff.
That's Katniss's dad.
This is nuts. Chapter 1. It's not even done yet, and I'm freaking out. Oh my gosh. It's a new day. I have showered. I've done my taxes. It's time for more Hunger Games. So I've read the first chapter, and you know I said I was interested in seeing how the author was going to subvert our expectations considering the amount that we already know about what's going to happen. And so far the answer seems to be that the amount that I know just gives me a sense of impending doom. Immediately, the book is opening up with quotes about propaganda. Haymitch has got a girlfriend and she's a covey, so clearly something happens where that doesn't work out. And he's got a younger brother that we've never seen in the other books, so something must happen to him. And like, he's working in alcohol distillery and he's like, I'm not much into the drink myself, but it's good for trading. Impending doom. And Katniss's parents are already together as teenagers. It's just crazy. Like, every few paragraphs, I'm like, huh? What do you mean? What? I haven't felt like this about a book since I read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Because the knowing. Okay. I'm gonna keep reading. By the way, in case you were wondering, I'm crocheting side pockets for my couch. I finished the first one, and now I've started the second one. So, that's exciting.
But Otho Malark, a big lug of a guy whose folks own the bakery, seems bewildered. Oh, just shoot that girl, would you? Says Drusilla. A nearby peacekeeper trains his rifle on Lenore Dove. Fine, Plutarch, whatever. Just get the rest of them up!
This book is nuts.
You're the man of the house now. If you were some other kid, I'd be worried. Sid starts to shake his head. You're twice as smart as me. The moment our hearts shattered, it belongs to us.
I can't with this book. I don't know if I can do more than one chapter in a day. I'm so stressed. The impending doom of it all. And the fact that they've added Lucy Gray Jr. as a bonus, just on top of everything else. Oh my god.
I brought our Victor up with Lenore Dove a few times. She never wanted to discuss her. Who are our mentors anyway, I ask?
I wonder if we'll run into Mags. Because, you know, Mags was 11. She was the first proper Victor. That's when they started the Victory Tours. That's why nobody knows anything about Lucy Gray. So I wonder if in this pool of victors we'll see Mags, because clearly she survives until game 75. So, interesting.
Drusilla hauls off and slaps Maisie, who, without missing a beat, slaps her right back.
Maisie's kind of a bad bitch. Because, like, the first thing we hear about her is he's like, oh, Maisie Donner, the snootiest girl in town, but, like, impending doom. We all know she's gonna get mauled by birds. Pink birds to death. I kind of love her. She has to be great, you know. It can't be she's just a snooty bitch, because she's where the Mockingjay pin comes from. She has to be substantial to live up to that. I love her. Immediately.
You gotta hand it to Maisie Lee. Nobody's using footage of her for propaganda. And you're headed for a bloody and agonizing death. Maisie Lee gives a bitter laugh. Lenore Dove told me that on their 13th birthday, he gave them pure gold pens that had belonged to his mother. They'd been fashioned by Tam Amber over 30 years ago. I never saw them, but Mary Lee's featured a hummingbird, and Maisie Lee's a mockingjay.
It's known, but I've just remembered that because Haymitch wins, he's doing this for like the rest of his life. He's 16, and he's gonna have to be the victor mentor for the next 25 years. But it would have been forever if it hadn't ended. So he would have been doing this for the rest of his life, which is what Mags is doing right now. She was doing that for her entire life, having to go back, leading more people into it. Oh, it's awful. Everything about Hunger Games, top to bottom, is just so precisely horrifying. I love them so much. They're so good. They're so well crafted. And of course, Suzanne Collins has said that she'd only write more of them if she had more to say. And not more story to tell, more to say. So it's clear that there's a message here that we still need to hear. Didn't get the point across the first time. We're still doing this, guys. So in the original trilogy, the kind of main message of it is that small acts of resistance can become big acts of resistance if you're not alone. At least that's what it is to me. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is kind of about the corrupting nature of power in general. And this one seems to have, even immediately in chapter 1, even in the quotes at the start of the book, it kind of has the theme of just because things have been a certain way for a long time doesn't mean they have to stay that way. And I just love these so much because they so clearly have a point that they are trying to get across without beating you over the head with it, even though it is ever present. It doesn't feel like you're being lectured. They're just fantastic. I love Lenore Dove. And something terrible must happen to her at some point. And I'm already just not ready for it. It's the impending doom. Is it something big that happens that makes Haymitch turn out the way that he does? Or is it just the 25 years of being part of the Hunger Games that wears down on him?
I pull Luella up. Look at me, I say. In every way, you are 1,000 times better than anybody in the Capitol. You are the best ally I could ever hope for. Okay, sweetheart? She nods and straightens up.
Something terrible.
You and me to the end.
To her.
Right, hey? You and me to the end, I promise. Girls in front. Better than dying in the arena. Better than weasels and starvation and swords. I'm embracing that when I realize the blood isn't mine. That fate isn't mine. And the tribute who's escaped the arena is Luella. A fine job I did protecting her. Dead before we even made it to the arena.
Oh, God.
We'll sing your songs now, Luella.
I can't do it. That's gotta be it for today. I can't do it. Oh my God. I'm having a time. I knew it was coming. I didn't think it was gonna be so soon. You know, like immediately. It's been a couple days, and I have emotionally recovered from the last chapter, which means it's time to read more.
We'll sing your songs now, Luella.
I forgot that that's how the chapter opens. Oh, I'm in for it today. It's so good, but man, this is going to be a little devastating, isn't it?
I was going to give her this, for a token, so she'd have something from home. She kneels down and I lift Luella's crushed skull while she places the beads around her neck. Luella looks peaceful, like she's asleep in my arms. If this is still being recorded and possibly aired, at least in the Capitol, maybe it does make a difference if I resist as best I can. President Snow. Not on a screen, but in the flesh. You are on a high horse, mister. And someday, someone will knock you off it, straight into your grave. The blue eye is narrow, but he's not focused on my face. Is he looking at the Flint striker? I'm grabbed from behind and dragged away. Hello, I'm Wyrus, one of your mentors. It was an arena full of shiny surfaces. Lakes that reflected the sky. Most of the tributes went nuts. But not Wyrus. She took it all in. She'd found a blind spot. And although they'd come raging within a few feet of her, she avoided detection when a second woman arrives. It takes a moment to place her. She's older, probably near Hattie's age. It's Mags, a victor from District 4.
I figured, I said it, I knew we were going to get Mags at some point. I didn't think Wyrus, because I guess I didn't realize that Wyrus's games were before Haymitch's. I love Wyrus. This is so exciting. I've been sitting here in stunned silence for like a while. Wow.
As for Wyrus, I shouldn't judge her so harshly. If I could outsmart everybody the way she did without lifting a finger, of course I'd do it. But that seems more like something Amber could pull off.
It makes so much sense. That's what he does. He finds the glitch at the edge of the arena. It's so cool that they kind of make that make sense with the stuff with Wirus, because, like, obviously that would be what happens with Wirus's game, because that's her, that's what she does. And it's cool that, like, Haymitch is going to kind of learn it from her. Katniss learns from her, too. These books are so good.
We could have at least done some damage. I turned to see Plutarch. He waves his camera crew over to record the knife training, but his attention stays on me. The question is, why didn't you? Sore ribs and all, I think about punching the question right off Plutarch's face. I still don't think the fear they inspire justifies this arrangement we've all entered into. Do you?
It's interesting, because the games have, like, properly been going on for 40 years at this point. It was just 10 years of slaughter before that. And there's 25 more years after this. Well, 24. So Plutarch was just waiting for the right person, the right moment to actually make a difference. Wow. Very interesting.
As he turns, I note the pair of steel-rimmed glasses. While he bears a strong resemblance to Ampert, this is not why he looks familiar. It's Beatty, a Victor from District 3. A cold dread washes over me as the puzzle pieces come together. He's a Victor, and therefore a mentor, assigned to coach his own child to his death in the 50th Hunger Games.
We get nuts and bolts. We know a little more about BT's game, because Wirus was already kind of, by the time Katniss meets her, but we know BT electrocuted everybody. God, this is horrible. His own kid. Oh, God. We knew Haymitch knew them, but I thought he just knew them because they were other Victors. I didn't realize that they were, like, mentors. Oh, God.
It's because I'm being punished for coming up with a plan to sabotage the Capitol's communication system. I'm too valuable to kill, but my son is disposable. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. He's a great kid.
God.
He is. Plutarch Heavensby. It seems the president had second thoughts about your performance. Luella under the balcony.
So we've got Snow, who's been doing this for 40 years. We've got Haymitch, who wants the games to end. He wants his games to be the last games. He's said that. We've got Plutarch, who wants the same thing. Obviously, Snow's not going to kill him. He doesn't do that. He wants examples. Interesting.
How has he unearthed this obscure fact about a pocket of musicians in the throwaway district of 12?
Because he knows them. He knows them very well. Oh, goodness.
With you out of the picture, Lenore, Dove, and your family should be free to enjoy long and happy lives. His reminder that their future will not include me is, as Maisie would say, a special kind of vicious. Standing in the doorway is Luella McCoy. She was good and dead in a way that defied return. So who is this girl in the doorway? But this isn't Luella.
No,
This girl...
of course it's not. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
People will believe she's Luella. Especially since you'll be there by her side, coaching her like the good ally you are.
What the fuck? I don't even know what to say to that. I like, what? God, that's awful.
It's a pair of boiled potatoes connected to a pea-sized bowl. Beatty raises a finger to his lips, then tilts his head for me to follow. Wirus knocked out the power in the building. The surveillance cameras are down. She estimates we have about 10 minutes left. Are you serious about breaking the arena?
God, it makes so much sense. Wow. One of the main criticisms for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, back when I still cared about book reviews, a lot of people were saying Songbirds and Snakes was like, this book only exists to just feed on your nostalgia for Hunger Games, and everything is just references to Hunger Games and doesn't actually matter. And I'm sure people are going to say the same thing about this one, because people suck, but it makes it make so much sense. Wow. This is nuts. And volts. Haha. So I've taken a break to digest a bit, because most of me listening to this, I've just been sitting here in stunned silence, so I figured I should probably gather my thoughts a bit. I'm about to start chapter 12, so I've just left off at the scores they got from the game makers. They gave Haymitch a 1, because of course they did. I feel so much dread about this plan to break the game. I'm very excited to see BT and Wirus and Mags, but I do not feel good about what's going to happen, because we know it doesn't end the games. The games don't end until Katniss. Even if their plan is successful, they're mostly just going to end up being punished for it. And there was something Snow said when he was talking to Haymitch that was like, you're going to die horribly, and because of that your family will have the privilege of living a long and happy life. And I just feel in my bones that Haymitch is going to win, and then he's going to come back to 12, and everybody he loves is just going to be dead. And he won't even get to say goodbye. That's what I'm afraid of happening. And I knew from the beginning that something was going to happen to them at some point, because 25 years later, none of them are there. But now that Hamish is doing all of these rebellious things and he's being openly threatened by Snow, I'm so worried they're not gonna live to the end of the book. And I don't know if it's gonna be the mother and the brother, or if it's gonna be Lenore Dove, or all of them. There's no way that they can just all survive because of what's happening with Beatty and his son. Beatty did something rebellious, and so his son has to die, and now Hamish is doing rebellious things. And they can't punish the victors, but somebody has to be. I can't know what's going to happen unless I keep reading. So I just have to keep reading.
We can hear a faint but piercing tone that must be deafening in her head. When it eases, tears stream from her eyes and she's gasping. Who's ready for a big, big, big day? Effie! Cries Proserpina, flinging herself into the newcomer's arms.
I love Effie. I don't even know what to say. I just love her. I didn't think she was going to be in this. Oh, goodness.
Listen, Hamish, I know you don't like me and you certainly don't trust me, but you should know that, despite appearances, a desire for freedom is not limited to the districts. And your misfortune does not give you the right to assume so. I hope after tonight you'll consider this. Hamish? Is that really you? The breathless voice, rough with recent tears, cuts right through to my heart. Lenore Dove. Chapter 14. What if we're never together again? We will be together always, I say with conviction. I don't know how, and
There's no way that's going to happen. There's no way they're going to be together always. Something terrible is going to happen to this woman.
She's gone. Truly for good this time. But she is safe. I set the swan head back in the cradle because I need you to trust me, Hamish. More importantly, I need you to trust the information I am about to give you. I'm completely lost. What information?
Okay.
About how to break the arena. This pulls me up short. Plutarch?
Wow.
Plutarch knows about the arena plot? No more implicit submission for you, Hamish Abernathy. Blow that water tank sky high.
I wonder if they tried more than just those 2 times, or if they just waited for 25 years. Because I guess this one doesn't go very well, clearly. They probably just built it up to make sure that if they tried again, it would actually work that time. And Hamish had to live through it twice. Wow.
And keep a positive attitude. I rise up, locking my eyes on hers until things go black, making me lose my bearings. My brows shoot up in disbelief as I get my first look at the arena. The beauty takes my breath away. To my right, a small mountain with a crown of snow. Is that where the tank is? Under the mountain? It's only moments before the screams begin. But I force myself to stay on course, knowing that seeing a District 12 tribute or any newcomer at death's door could pull me into the fray, and keep an eye out for snakes. I only spot flowers, songbirds, and the occasional bunny. Nothing venomous or deadly.
Nothing venomous or deadly. Not at all. Definitely nothing venomous or deadly here. Absolutely everything's poisonous. Or venomous. Depends on if you're biting it or if it's biting you. Oh, God. I'm not ready. It's happening. Guys, it's happening.
The lush trees, laden with bright blooms and ripe fruit, promise everything I seek. Shade from the hot sun, food to fill my belly, concealment from the career until I count 18 of us dead. I won't know who until tonight, when they show the faces of the fallen tributes in the sky. I take a seat on the rock to catch my breath and examine my backpack. My life may well depend on the contents. Then flip back the flap and begin to lay out my supplies. These are the same charcoal tablets Mama used to buy from the March's shop for her indigestion when she overate. A bad joke on the game maker's part, given that no tribute's in danger of overeating.
I didn't realize until he said charcoal. That's what they still give you in the hospital today if you eat something bad and it needs to be absorbed. Wow. He got a good pack, yeah. My thought was they would be water purifying, like iodine tablets, but charcoal is going to be a lot more useful.
20 dead now. In a usual games, only 4 tributes would be left alive. When my thirst begins to get to me, I stop by a stream. Propping my pack against a tree, I scoop up a few handfuls of icy water. A dove-colored rabbit hops up across the stream from me and helps itself to a good long drink. The bunny starts squealing like a baby bird, goes stiff as a board, then falls over dead. What other food and drink in here will kill you? Everything, probably.
Everything.
It isn't safe to sample anything that didn't come from the cornucopia. Nightfall brings the anthem blasting through the arena. I rally enough to pull myself to the edge of the berry patch and look up to see the other 16 deaths today are all newcomers. I watch as they unspool. 1 tribute left. Wyatt Callow, whose luck just ran out. And Lulu's face, splattered in dry blood and dirt, materializes over them. Found him, she says. Her squeal of delight snaps me back to the arena. She darts for a nearby berm covered with scarlet flowers. I don't know why this one, since she's viewed the others with indifference. Crushing handfuls of the leaves and burying her face in the red blossoms.
No.
I spot the nameplate and relax a bit.
No, don't relax. Everything is poisonous. Oh no, Lulu.
Lulu's breathing so deep she's starting to gasp, and good memories or no, I decide it's time to pull her out of there. I drop my stuff on the ground, and I've just wrapped my arms around her middle when the coughing begins. After I haul her off the berm, she sits back on her heels and makes a choking sound. Just breathe, Lulu, I say soothingly. They're only flowers. But nothing's only anything in this arena.
They're not.
And when the blood begins running from her eyes, her nose, her mouth, she collapses against me and I cradle her in my arms as the convulsions begin. The cannon fires to confirm her death as her body goes limp. Whoever Lulu was, she's moved on. I locate a clump of willows and hunker down in the center, catching glimpses of the hovercraft overhead.
Of course they're
A
willows.
claw descends. This is exactly the behavior I've been forbidden to engage in, and there will be repercussions. Deadly ones. Soon. And I will have lost my chance to blow up the tank. It's Ampert, all right, about a mile away, tromping toward me.
Hell yeah.
The expression on his face, so grim and sad. Looking at him, I can't help thinking that all the little ones seem to end up with me. Luella, Lulu, Ampert. I can't keep a one of them safe. Why do they flock to me?
I think that's where I have to stop for today. Because my husband's about to be home and there will suddenly be loud guitar in here. Tomorrow is my birthday, so the next time you see me, I will be baking. And then after the festivities, we can get back to this book. God.
So today's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. At 6:05 p.m., I will officially be 25 years old. I got new glasses as my birthday present to myself, in case you were wondering what that's about. Normally when I bake something, it's kind of an all-day affair, or at least several hours. And I don't really feel like doing that on my birthday. So I'm making something very simple known as a dump cake. You just dump the ingredients in, you don't even have to stir it, you just bake it. And it's amazing. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. I make it for myself pretty much every year. I'm also making mac and cheese because that's what I want for my birthday. Before we can continue reading, I simply must show you what my husband got me for my birthday. This is one of those book embossing stamps. So I have my TBR pile here, and I'm gonna show you. Don't have to push super hard, and it kind of crumples the page a little bit, but that does work itself out as it's just sitting. If you've been thinking about getting a book embosser and you're looking for the thing to push you over the edge to actually buying one, you should do it. They're awesome. I'm very happy that my husband got one for me because I've wanted one for ages, but they're just so customizable that I got really overwhelmed and didn't ever get one. But now I have one, and I'm very happy.
Ampert pulls off one of his socks and dips it in the fire, where it glows for quite a while before the toes begin to melt. Seems like a clue. Perhaps it's protective. But from what?
Oh, I've just remembered there's a volcano, and that's why all of their clothes are heat resistant. Oh God.
I slide my knife into his belt, muss his hair like I do Sid's, and say, best ally ever. He gives me a lopsided grin, and I hop onto the ladder. What could they possibly need this much water for? Do they intend to turn the entire arena into a lake?
The volcano. It's to extinguish the volcano.
Then a swirl of color obscures his image and spirals down at me. Transparent wings tinted every color of the rainbow flash above me. Genetically engineered bat mutations. Designed to shred me to slaw. I can see the spear still propping open the berm, but no sign of him. Something isn't right. He wouldn't leave me to fend for myself.
There's no way he's still alive. If he's still alive, I will be so surprised.
I make out the hundreds of squirrel-like creatures swarming around in their gorgeous golden coats.
Murder
their eyes shining
squirrels?
as if lit from within. I promised Beatty I would not let him suffer. Stripped clean to the bone. No flesh or clothing remains. Only an axe at its right side. My knife at its left.
God, that's definitely among the more gruesome deaths that we've had in the whole series. Of course, Maisel Lee's about to meet the same fate with birds instead of squirrels. Oh, God.
Somewhere, Beatty's heart breaks into fragments so small it can never be repaired. Mine pounds like a drum. I want to kill them all. Snow, the game makers, every person in the capital who has been party to this atrocity. I get a bad feeling. To my horror, the mountain erupts in a fountain of lethal gold. And I have my answer.
I've been waiting the whole time. Obviously, they would only archive a very edited version of events. So in Catching Fire, Haymitch goes off on his own, all the way north, and they don't give a lot of detail about that. Just like the animal attacks, everything's poisonous, and then the volcano erupts, and then he finds Maisie and all the other stuff happens. So I knew that the volcano would be pretty early on, so I've just been waiting. I'm not ready for the volcano. Oh, God.
What if that ginormous water tank was built so they could quench the aftermath of the volcano? In bombing the tank, I may have destroyed any hope for those who survived the eruption. The path winds this way and that, sometimes reaching a dead end or coming to a fork, which requires me to make a choice.
There's a hedge maze? I'm so concerned about absolutely everything that's happening.
A sword blade whistles by my head, just catching the tip of my ear. I cry out and trip backward over a dead branch.
Panache had the sword, right? We know Haymitch lives, so does Haymitch have to kill him, or does something else happen to him? Haymitch hasn't actually killed anybody yet. I know he has to kill at least one at the end. Oh, God.
A sense of dread fills me. He's much bigger,
Me
better
too.
armed, and crazed with pain. What I see instead is the surprise that transforms his face as the dart pierces his throat.
Maisie, because she finds a dart kit in her pack that she gets from the cornucopia, and she uses the poison from the arena as her weapon. So this is where they join up, which means we're near the end. Oh, God.
I whip around to see Maisie emerge from behind a tree. A blowgun balances delicately in her fingers. We'd live longer with two of us, she says. Guess you just proved that. Are you free for dinner? Because I'm in possession of 2 very fine potatoes. Raw, but potentially bakeable. Ampert leads off his entire team. Every single kid from District 3 is history. Bad day for everybody, says Maisie. And a cloud of bean and ham hock soup steam dampens my face. Max, trying to reach us, to let us know we are not alone in our pain, to give us strength to go on.
I love Mags. She's so tragic. When she started writing prequels, I really wanted a Mags book, and I don't want it to just be her games. I want it to be her whole life, because I think that's the good story, is just the endless march of her having to do this for her entire life. I don't think she will ever actually write a Mags book, so I'm glad that we've gotten glimpses of her in this. I think she's probably the most tragic story out of all of them. Obviously, everybody involved in the Hunger Games is a tragedy, even the victors, almost especially the victors, because of what they do to the victors. And Mags did it the longest. She breaks my heart. I love her so much.
Night, sis. My dreams are nothing I want to remember, full of people I must never forget. We've barely finished our first strokes when dozens of the holly berries pop off their stems and swarm up our arms. Within seconds, they inflate to the size of acorns and begin exploding, splattering my face with my blood.
Oh, exploding ladybugs. That's horrible. All of these creatures are so horrible. And this is where I have to stop for today. Oh, I've just woken up. I haven't gotten ready or anything, so I'm sorry if I look a bit of a mess. This is the time that I have to read today, so this is what we're doing here. Nothing like atrocities first thing in the morning. Actually, that's pretty normal for right now. 2025, baby. This is our world we're living in.
We sit smack down in the clump of Katniss, side by side, completely done in. I can barely hear her whisper. One of us has to win this thing. My eyes travel up the long stems to the arrow-shaped leaves, the white petals. This morning's poster says, "We're civilized. We appreciate beautiful things. We're as good as you." It's an extension of her whole campaign to show the capital our value.
I think it's really interesting that Maisie continues to be unwaveringly herself, even in the face of certain death. And she's going soon, so I'm not ready for that.
Because it has to end somewhere, right? The arena can't go on forever. The hovercraft appears out of nowhere, dropping a bomb into the clearing that explodes in a cloud of dirt and tear gas.
What? So much just happened. They attacked on site at the mere presence of lower-level expendable game makers. Silka's right, there's no way that any of them will be allowed to win, but Haymitch didn't attack them. And then they tear gas bombed them. Oh, God.
Maybe you should be the victor, Haymitch. That would give you some time to grow a backbone. Hello again, meanest girl in town. It only hurts because it's true. She pulls out the can of sardines, and I always hoped I'd look like her one day. Never going to see myself grow old, I guess. Maybe. Oh, no, not after today. I walk to the edge of what turns out to be a cliff. A sheer drop of around 100 feet meets a carpet of pointy rocks. Yeah, I tell her. This is the end of the road.
He's found the edge of the map, which means it's only a matter of time until Maisie is gone. Oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this to be happening. Oh my God.
There's only 5 of us left. May as well say goodbye now anyway. I don't want it to come down to you and me. When suddenly the pebble flies back over the edge and bounces to a stop beside me. That's when I hear Maisie begin to scream. In a flash, I'm on my feet and thrashing through the smoky tunnel in the hedge. I spy bright patches of pink up ahead, the color of the bubblegum sold at the Donner Sweet Shop. They dive again and again at Maisel. She's not dying alone. She's with family. She's with me.
I knew it was going to happen. I knew exactly how it was going to happen. It's one of the few things we definitely knew for sure was going to happen. And it doesn't make it hurt less. God.
I've got my own jewelry collection now. What with District 9's Sunflower, Wyatt's Script Coin, and Lenore Dove's Warring Songbird and Snake. Why, I'm almost as decorated as Miss Donner herself. Is that what my final hour should be devoted to? Guarding Welly from Silka and the Game Maker's mutts? Making sure that crown winds up on her head, not a career's? The weeping comes from far below, at the base of the tree. Silka. I become intensely aware of the three of us, huddled around this tree. The last trio of human heartbeats in the arena. Sad, desperate, but also a rare moment of district unity in the games.
That's devastating. There's that quote. It's like, the bigger the tragedy, the smaller you write. And that's what that was. That was awful. You know, obviously it's amazing, but like, felt awful. God. So I got a new chair. I'm very cozy. I have a blanket. I have my crochet. And it is time to finish this book. Oh boy. My brother finished it today, and he's very eager for me to finish so we can talk about it. Okay.
Welly's on the brink of starving to death. Even if she can hang on, the lack of food leaves her vulnerable to a host of other dangers. Don't leave me again, she whispers. No doubt I am from where she sits, the great abandoner of the newcomers. When the cannon fires, I freeze, mystified.
Oh no.
Was this not the moment for the president to savor my defeat? Silka stands like a statue. In her right hand, her axe. Her left holds Welly's head, eyes still open, mouth agape. I could live 10,000 years and never erase this sight from my memory.
What the fuck? Like what? Okay. I sensed it was coming. I sensed that as soon as Hamish left her alone for a second, she would die. I didn't think it would be like that. Oh my god.
The way she tosses Welly's head aside, with no regard or compassion for her, even in death.
God.
And I find myself at the opening to the holly hedge. Ladybug, ladybug, here I am
the
again.
end.
I collapse to the dirt as the axe whistles over my head into the canyon. That's when I remember the force field. The spinning axe catches the sunlight, and the dull, sickening sound as it lodges in her head. I can feel consciousness threatening to slip away as I free the sunflower from my neck and place the blasting cap in it. If nothing else, there should be an impressive boom. But the game maker's panicked voice has allowed me to hope for more. What will happen when the explosion meets the force field?
I'm so stressed.
I don't dare think about my loved ones back home. Everything I did, every choice I made
There's
was
no
based
way
on the
they're
knowledge
still
that my death
alive.
protected them from harm. One evening, a haunting melody weaves through my dreams. I startle from sleep calling Lenore Dove's name. A girl in a rainbow of ruffles sings a familiar tune with unfamiliar words.
Oh my god.
I think about the bits of color Lenore Dove adds to her wardrobe, the bright blue, yellow, and pink. Are they scraps from this girl's dress?
Yeah.
A way to keep her memory alive? Someone here remembers the covey. Someone who knows how they name their babies and love their birds. Oh, Lenore Dove, what have I done to you? How will you pay for my surviving the Hunger Games? I lose it,
With her life.
smashing a chair into the window.
I made more tea to cope with what is happening. Oh.
I guess Snow lands on top. Utterly guilty on all possible counts, I await his sentence. He merely smiles and says, "Enjoy your homecoming."
Oh god.
Chapter 26.
What does that mean?
Another song surfaces unbidden, also forbidden. Lenore Dove plays it for Burdick sometimes. Are you coming to the tree where they strung up a man, they say murdered 3? I am home. The peacekeepers come in, remove my shackles, and lead me to the exit.
I'm not ready. It's not gonna be good. Even if they're all alive, it's not gonna be good. Okay, I'll keep reading.
Could it be that within the hour I might feel Ma's arms around me, ruffle Sid's hair? A whiff of smoke drifts through the heavy, humid air. Fire, but not coal fire. Maybe it's not mine. I know, it's mine. Ma and Sid are being burned alive. Astrid March's face swims into view. Drink this, Image. We'll do what can be done. You go to sleep now. I awake, thick-tongued and groggy, at the McCoys, where Luella's ma stands over me with a tin mug of tea. A plain pine box awaits. They had hold of each other, Mr. McCoy says. Thought we'd let them stay that way. I see person after person press the 3 middle fingers of their left hand to their lips, and then extend it to their dead. I lift my head to see the rare and radiant Lenore Dove herding her gaggle into the meadow. She spins around, head back, arms lifted to the sky. It's my bag of gumdrops. The ones I had Sid deliver to her after the reaping. I guess she left them here. Oh, Lenore Dove. Oh, my love. I say, we hold each other so tight, it's like we're one person. Which we are, for real. I pluck a sweet from the bag and pop it in her mouth. She laughs. Now you're home, I guess I can eat the others. What others? I feed her another gumdrop. The ones Sid brought me. I put them under my pillow. But I look down at the bag. Not a rainbow.
No.
They're all a deep blood red. Her knees give way. I can't stand up. Lenore Dove, I plead. Don't. I turn my head and see the sun just peeking over the horizon. Don't you let it rise on the reaping. You can't leave me, because I love you like all fire. You too. I think that's what her lips said. I taste the poison, and know she is gone. The nightmare always starts with me feeding her that gumdrop. I never check the bag. Why can't I remember to check the bag? President Snow's crystal clear message to me on my homecoming. That I will never get to love anyone ever again. Burdick insists on showing up. I resort to throwing rocks hard at them. It takes one hitting Astrid on the forehead, blood pouring down her perfect face, to finally get them to leave me alone. I let Effie pour coffee down me, send me to the tub until Proserpina and Vitus can stomach me.
And Effie's just gonna pour coffee down his throat and throw him in the tub for another 24 years? Oh, God. It's awful. Every second of this is awful.
BB's too valuable to kill. I thought he'd have killed himself. He can't. His wife's pregnant. Besides, he wouldn't let Amber down that way. Oh, I see. He's going to overthrow the Capitol, is he? Maybe one day, but we can't any of us do it alone. You demonstrated a lot of nerve and intelligence in that arena. We need your help.
Wow.
Me? I say in disbelief. You were capable of imagining a different future. And maybe it won't be realized today. Maybe not in our lifetime. Maybe it will take generations. We're all part of a continuum. Does that make it pointless? I am so desperate to forget. To escape the grief, the aching loneliness, the loss of those I love. But I can't say I have no future. Because I know that every year for my birthday I will get a new pair of tributes. One girl and one boy to mentor to their deaths. Another sunrise on the reaping. And when I remember that, I hear Sid's voice. Happy birthday, hey Mitch. Epilogue. When Lenore Dove comes to me now, she's not angry or dying, so I think she's forgiven me. I fulfilled my promise about the reaping, or at least lent a hand. But she says I can't come to her yet. I have to look after my family. I first saw the girl at the Hob when she was just a baby. Burdick was so proud of her, he toted her around everywhere. Tough and smart. Her hair in 2 braids then, reminding me for all the world of Luella McCoy, my sweetheart of old. I didn't want to let them in, her and Peta. I finally told our story. A few days after that, Katniss showed up with an old basket filled with goose eggs. Not to eat, to hatch. I raided a few different nests, so they can breed all right. Mine was the first face those goslings saw. We've been known to wander on over to the meadow. Lenore Dove likes it best there. Like the geese. We really did mate for life. The Capitol can never take Lenore Dove from me again. They never really did in the first place.
Damn. I'm gonna need some time before I have anything intelligent to say. Just wow.
It's been a few hours. Got some food, put on a sweater because it's cold and rainy now. Listened to the epilogue again because it was very cute. Man, that was devastating. Even though I knew all of his loved ones were probably gonna die, I didn't know how it was gonna happen. It was bad. It was really bad. Didn't feel good. Not at all. But the epilogue made it feel better. I have a cat on my lap, by the way. Haymitch finally told them everything, which means Katniss figured out that she's a Covey and learned what the Coveys are, because they would have all been gone by her time. She wouldn't have actually known. But because Haymitch finally told them, she did get to learn about her family history. I feel better knowing that. And Katniss, of course, was like, we gotta get you some geese. You need geese, obviously. That's the solution to this. That's his little family now. Katniss and Peta and their wains. I really enjoyed reading this, even though it was deeply gut-wrenching. Hope you enjoyed hanging out with me while I read it. I hope she never writes another one. Because every time she writes a new book, it's like, oh god, are things that bad? Oh no. Anyway, happy Trans Day of Visibility today, March 31st. This video is not going to go up for a few days, but that's where I'm at right now. And, yeah, that's all.